We are the Catalan Independentist Resistance, and you are listening to a new update from Radio Hadrian in Free Catalonia.
If you want to investigate the truth, you have to doubt everything in life, at least once. René Descartes. Good afternoon, this is DavidRaventos. This is chapter 70, 71, 72 in Radio Hadrian in its English language version. It's 3 chapters because last week we didn't have an English one, but also because we've done a special about the book Carles Puigdrmont has written, a book in which he kind of confesses to not being an independentist, but we'll go into that later. This program goes dedicated to all of those that are beginning to doubt about our leaders, about the Catalan process. Most of us which are now convinced that everything the Catalan indie movement has gone through the last 8 years is a farce. But we all started by doubting, and now we have decided we've been betrayed, and we are putting our strength together, and we're going to declare independence. The sooner the better. So this program goes dedicated to those of you who doubt. It's been intense weeks for us. We've been in Spanish radio being attacked by ultra Spanish nationalists. We've been doing live in Facebook Live, which is approaching thousands of people to listen to our message. We've been doing the contact with listeners 2 weeks ago, and we're going to do this again next Wednesday. And we're going to Vilafranca del Penedès, which is a very historic city, about 40,000 people. And that is the center of Penedès, which is one of the 8 vegueries or regions in which Catalonia will be divided once we recover our freedom. So there was more than 50 people there, but people listening to the live show as well. So it was a special night. In this program, we will briefly talk about the All Under One Banner movement and some article or some note written by Peter A. Bell, which I got through Facebook through somebody else. The Brexit that will never happen. We'll talk about Puigdrmont, his book and his interviews in which he shows that he is not pro-India at all. So he is a traitor. And we'll go into that into detail. A bit of the shenanigans going on in the Catalan process, and a bit more about Directe 68 on tour. Okay, also we'll talk about a big scandal of pedophilia in Spain going on for the last 20 years. Briefly about the All Under One Banner. I've seen this article in which Peter A. Bell praises them for the effort of setting up the movement together, but then later says that there's nobody in All Under One Banner that can correct the lack of image or the wrong image, so they need the right spokesperson. And that's where things go wrong in this world we live in. Everything that started either in Scotland or Catalonia is London run or Madrid run. And if it's not, then London or Madrid have to take over. It happened here in 2009, here in Catalonia. The people started having non-binding independence polls in every town. And that Madrid couldn't control. So they had to invent the Assemblea Nacional Catalana to neutralize that. The same happened with a political party they had to disrupt and create another one that was Madrid run. They're trying to do everything they can against Directe 68, the party I belong to. Because they know we are the only threat to the unity. What they call the unity of Spain is no unity because they didn't ask us. You had the Treaty of Union, but to us it was military conquer. So, but the way Peter A. Bell is pointing at the need for a spokesperson, well, possibly you're going to get them all as spokesperson, and that will be the end of All Under One Banner movement. So take care. And don't let yourself be infiltrated on the top. The other issue relevant to Scotland is the Brexit. The Brexit that will never happen. We've been saying it, I think, since day one in this program. The world doesn't want the UK to break up. The world doesn't want the European Union to break up. They rigged the Scottish referendum in 2014 with the help of your beloved SNP and Nicola Sturgeon, Alex Salmond, and all the rest. And Brexit, it was never meant to happen. They've done all the voting in Parliament. They've done now the whole problem with the frontier, the border in Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland, or Republic of Ireland, better said. The concept about Scotland being allowed to have its own agreement. All these things are to make it so complicated that it never happens, which was the plan from the start. We said it. They let Brexit happen first time around, so then they show all the problems of leaving, so they scare all the northern countries in Europe. They make them see how complicated it is and how not worthy it is. Then they pass a second referendum. You know, George Soros, one of the biggest criminals in the world, is endorsing a second referendum, so it's not a good idea to bet against Soros. So if Soros wants to keep European Union together, it's gonna happen. And Soros was against Scottish independence, so it never happened. And Soros is supporting the Catalan process, but as the Catalan process is to keep Catalonia Spanish, independence won't happen. So this Brexit has always been planned like that. And on top of that, the plan is to keep the UK together because they've made the SNP to link a second referendum, though we already should know that referendums never bring about independence. But it's a perfect game. They let you win when it's not real. They show all the problems. And now they're gonna kill the idea of UK ever leaving European Union forever. It's a master plan. And on top of that, they've managed Nicola Sturgeon, the top English, the top British mole, to link a second referendum to a hard Brexit. Hard Brexit that won't happen. So they kill two birds with one stone. They keep UK together and they keep European Union together. European Union together and UK together. And that was the plan decades ago. Because that's how it works. And that's going to be built basically on a specific group of people that it is the one that have been used as guinea pigs in this. This group of people is the people that voted Brexit and that will change their vote and vote Remain in the second vote. It's this volatility of these people, it's this volubility of this bunch of people that makes it that the powers that be can use us as puppets, as mice, as ants, as something that doesn't count at all. They can manipulate the lesser endowed, the less courageous, the ones with the lesser character, the less intellectually endowed to change their vote. And this is not about being in favor or against European Union. It's about being against being manipulated like farm animals. Again, we said it. We're getting it right every time. It's about time people start listening to these programs. And it's about time people started acting accordingly. We're not supposed to be farm animals. Why do most people keep behaving like they are? Brexit, March for voting again has gathered 670,000 people in London yesterday. Second referendum is going to happen. It's going to be stay. And then the question of leaving European Union will be killed forever. And then the question of Scotland leaving UK will be killed forever. It's a master plan. We really need to start educating ourselves. We really need to stop going to marches like cattle going to the slaughterhouse. Thinking is an individual process. When a lot of people is gathered in a march, it's mob mentality. It's not that difficult. It's not rocket science. It was meant to happen like this. The world doesn't want Brexit. The world doesn't want independence of Scotland. The world doesn't want the independence of Catalonia. it's up to us to decide if we want this to happen against the will of those running the world, or we dedicate ourselves to something else and our families will be much better off. But what we cannot go is keep marching and keep thinking that we decide things. Because you know what? Life is not a fairy tale. Life is hard. Good things don't come to you easy. You need to fight. You need to be ready to die for them, to go to prison for them, to live in misery under a bridge for them. And if you're not ready to pay that price, you don't really want independence. Because important things, come at a hard price. So while we're waiting for the second referendum to murder Brexit, we're going to talk about Catalonia a bit. We made a special program, which was number 70, where we destroyed this book about Carles Puigdrmont. Carles Puigdrmont, you know, the former Catalan president, which is supposed to be in exile, but not so. And he made a book with a name that nobody who was pro-Indy would say, The Catalan Crisis. Well, it doesn't take having a degree in psychology to realize that linking Catalonia to the word crisis, as he does all over the book, can only be done by a Spanish unionist. Nobody would do that. The book would be called Catalan Independence, Freedom for Catalonia, A Chance for Catalonia, but not the Catalan Crisis. And sometimes he even refers to calling home to calling Spain. No pro-Indy person would ever say that. I never think of calling Spain when I'm abroad. Why does he? And not only that, he puts it in writing in a book. The worst things there are where he kind of confesses that the referendum should never have happened because they had to declare independence beforehand. But then the worst thing is in page 69. Don't look for it in English because it's not there. In page 69, the worst thing in the book by Puigdrmont is that he said that he would accept a referendum in which Spain would negotiate the question, the date. It could be between 2020 and 2025. The amount of votes required to get independence, and in case of losing, or in whatever case, not to ask the question again in a generation. The same thing I heard from Scotland, and that means it's not going to happen. Not with these people. They don't want it to happen. We are here to make it happen. That book is a book where he talks about Devil Max a lot, and he doesn't show the nerve or the will to be independent at all. Nobody now can be allowed to say that Carles Puigdrmont is for independence, because he's not. Then this week he does an interview in Euronews in where he says that if Catalonia had a federal system like in Germany, then people wouldn't want independence. So that is treason. The whole Catalan process is in disarray. Now they're saying that we should inscribe the Declaration of Independence that was not inscribed a year ago, but then of course that is a lie, because you cannot do that longer than 3 days after the declaration. And now they're making people climb peaks in defense of people who are in prison and in exile. And that is sad, if you ask me. But there's hope in all this. We started touring Catalonia, doing conferences with Directe 68. We've received a lot of praise for what we've done. The cat is out of the box, so they cannot make this not happen. And what is more important, we've been in local radio stations, we've been in local television, we've been in local newspapers, and we've openly accused Puigdrmont, Junqueras, the Catalan parties, the Catalan organizations, to work against independence. And guess what? Nobody came to the conference to prove us wrong. So they have accepted what we say because they have nothing to say against that. They cannot prove us wrong. This is a short edition, but we wanted to keep in contact with you. We're making this happen. We're not going to let independence to be stolen from Catalans, and we are sure that will help Scotland to get their own independence. Saur Aluba Kubra. Visca Catalunya lliure.
This has been another update from the Catalan Independentist Resistance from Radio Hadrian. Remember that you can follow us on social media, either on Facebook, YouTube, our Twitter account, Instagram, Google, Telegram, and also on iVoox.